I'm gonna
So her
need
name is Taos. She was found in New Mexico.
Oh, gonna need to meet her soon. Oh my gosh, she's ridiculous.
Maybe I'll bring her next time. I don't know what the animal situation is here.
The dogs be like, bye.
All right, I think that's it for the personnel type updates. Does anybody have any other informational stuff? There was nothing else on the agenda before we move on. All right, fabulous. So then the next section on the agenda is the public comment section. Let me double check. I do not believe we have anyone online or in person, so we will skip the public comment section. We did get one letter. I think, yeah, just the one. From a member of the community. It was actually to the BOT, but the BOT forwarded it to us since it was related to a dog park. So just wanted to make sure everybody was able to look at that. So, so does anybody have any thoughts on that or any questions?
In the past, and it's been shot down by City of Boulder.
City of Boulder, since they own the reservoir.
Yeah.
At one point, what's that?
Is there another location that might be?
There's smaller locations. We at one point in time discussed putting one at Angel Park, and making different smaller dog parks for each different neighborhood, utilizing part of Big Springs Park, Angel.
Yeah. Well, and also to be clear, the suggestion in the letter was a voice and sight dog friendly area, not a dog park, which is a really different thing, right? So it's like a dog park would be like a contained area where dogs could run around. Like a voice and sight designation would be like dogs can just like run free.
So
If
once
people
they
say
pass
they,
that,
it's
But
city,
then-
actually, it's actually not county, it's city.
Did we have such a designation?
No, it's City of Boulder land. That's why.
And they have a voice insight program that you have to get, you have to like watch a training video and like, register your dog and they have like a certain tag. So it is like a registration
Yeah.
requirement.
So I do think like at some point we should have like a longer conversation about dog parks because there's like a very long history of
Here all the time.
All the time.
Plus,
All the time.
like, and
average dog ownership up here is like 1.5 dogs to the person.
I've actually have a
Lindsay's helping to be still.
You're in a call, so I
Yeah, now I have 2 dogs.
There's
You have 4, right?
one of the former teachers at the Nederland Elementary School has offered to pay for the fencing on a dog park if we could figure out where to put it. So,
Yeah.
But Angel Park's really small. It's the dog wouldn't even
super
get
tiny. It'd have to be
to
like
run before it got to the next fence.
have to be like a very tiny dog park,
It would
like
have
tiny dogs.
very tiny,
Tiny dog.
tiny dog, tiny park. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think like if someone wants to like, touch base with Nikki on the history and bring it to a discussion at some point, I think there's like, not surprisingly, there's both like a lot of interest and a lot of intense, like, as we've seen with other projects, like opposition to location and like details and that sort of, it's like good to know the background and like who's worked on this.
More often than anything,
Mhm.
more often than anything I hear is
Yeah.
dog park.
Maybe we should have a meeting or like, not a meeting, like maybe a present, I don't know if you'd be willing to give like a presentation at a future meeting or something. Someone, just, I know we
Background.
talked about it, we were coming up with our priorities this past spring and we decided it didn't meet, the top 5, but
Not because it wasn't wanted, just because we're at capacity.
yeah, exactly. So maybe it is worth,
Yeah,
discussing.
Does
I think it is.
the bandwidth to add like maintenance on that? Because I mean, it's like dog poop bags, like stocking them, trash, so that's also.
Yeah, and actually I visited many dog parks down in the city of Boulder. City of Boulder
Mhm.
took me on a tour of their dog parks and, some of the complaints that you heard were, from people up here were, people not picking up their poop and stuff like that. City of Boulder said to me that because you put them in a dog park, they're actually, the owner then has to kind of watch out because somebody else is watching them. So they actually have, better results with dog parks than without.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
I had one person say, well, in Netherlands, they would just like drop their dog off and leave and you'd end up having to babysit a dog. City Boulder, so that just never happened. Never happened where it's not a doggy daycare. It's just a dog. park.
I feel like no one's gonna bother to go all the way to the dog park to let their dog roam free, like they'll just let them out the door,
Yeah,
like they already
That-
do.
plus like your average person with an extra dog and not enough space, coming up to Nederland to drop a dog off at a dog, it's a lot of calculation. That's, I could see it more likely in Boulder than here.
So, sorry, just to like, going back to the initial public comment, does one of us want to get back to this person to say that this is a city of Boulder issue, that we don't really have like any jurisdiction or whatnot?
No, he
over
know,
that, or-
they know that as far as I can tell.
Oh, okay.
They're talking to the Boulder County already, which is interesting since it's city, but
Okay.
anyway. They suggested the way to get designation was to petition or write the BOT to get them to request the status with the city of Boulder, which controls that process. So.
Have they, like, have people been issued citations or anything
It's rare,
down there?
very rare. That's
No.
why I'm curious why this has come up because everybody does it anyway.
Well, we just got the new animal control person.
And they mentioned that animal control person in their email, I think.
Well, if anyone,
You're right, yes. So,
if anyone could help facilitate something like that, surely they would know all the requirements.
yep.
I just think the dog park thing opens up a bigger discussion that we should have about this town's ability to absorb any change.
Yeah, right now?
Like,
Come on.
I just can't imagine the kind of outcry that a dog park would spark. And
Yeah,
I
it
feel
does.
maybe I should get off the board if I feel this way, just being honest, but I feel pretty dejected by the response to the rink in tennis and the pump track, obviously losing on the ballot. And I guarantee you, as soon as you say dog park, people are gonna start freaking out about noise and parking and all the other things. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying
They do.
it's not worth my time
Yeah.
if people are gonna behave that way.
I mean, that's what happened last time.
Yeah.
I wasn't
So,
involved, but it was
like-
years ago.
Yeah, like Pines, that'd be great, but.
Yeah, that's
I feel like
absolutely what happened.
it's So.
Well,
it's
So-
from my mindset.
My suggestion, so I think this is kind of a different issue again, since it's not a dog park
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. But we start straying into the dog park.
Exactly. I would love it if we could. Sorry. Wow.
Meeting.
That was amazing. I would actually love it if, and this is actually related to what I put on the agenda later about some of the comprehensive plan results and if we should revisit our priorities, especially given the election results. And anyway, it's a little bit later, but if there is anyone interested in sort of keeping tabs on this and yes, Nikki can give us a presentation, but would someone like to look into it, figure out if it's feasible, that kind of thing? If there is someone, then that would be amazing.
I would like to get at least up to date on this topic enough so that I could give a better answer to people when they ask than
Okay.
I don't know. So I intend to be on this board a good long time, so I'd like to at least get the information. Not that I'm thinking this is gonna.
You should just refer them to one of the 800 Ned Heads threads where people are fighting about this topic. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's,
Feeling.
yeah, we can't
Very much.
forever let this one Facebook page dominate public discussion.
We
It's-
let it
it's-
put an item on the ballot. It was
Yep.
judgment by Ned Head. So now we've kind of set that precedent. Sorry, I'm taking us astray, Kathy.
I mean, to be clear, the BOT put the item on the
Totally,
ballot,
but-
not the people on, I actually think it was the opposite. The ballot took it away from Ned Head's ability to just make whoever's the loudest make the decision.
Yeah, I think the decision to put it on was driven by, I
Yeah,
mean, just sitting
possibly.
off with one letter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, we've literally gotten two people ever contacted the board
Who
about the
actually
pump
made
track.
the
It's completely.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I do think it would be good to take a step back and kind of assess where we're at in terms of goals and cause yeah, that was just a interesting circular turn of events and such. So, yeah. But so yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No,
I just don't wanna. But I do want to just note, so let's actually circle back to our like earlier agenda items and say welcome to Luke Miller, who's on the WebEx, our new trustee liaison. Hi, Luke.
Hi guys. Sorry I was a little late. I on the road and trying to take advantage of the long weekend with kid. Yeah.
Hey, what is the long weekend?
Yeah, but kids, well, BVSD has Friday and Monday off. So
I was like, am I missing a holiday?
no, just if you have kids in school.
Where are you going?
We're going down to Del Norte in the San Luis Valley.
Oh,
There's a
awesome.
bunch of mountain biking and fun stuff to do down there.
Is indeed. Luke,
Yeah.
would you, I know you're like in the car or what have you, but any chance you
Yeah.
would like tell us a little bit about yourself or why you're interested in being the PROSAB liaison?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I mean, I care a lot about like our outdoor space in Netherlands. Like I feel like we have so much opportunity here. Um, I know our outgoing liaison, Jesse Sievers, was really big on the mountain bike infrastructure and stuff. And I share a lot of that commitment. But also just kind of like everything that we have to offer for the town and the community, from the rink to, skate park to, just the community trails in and around town. And I think there's just, like I said, I think there's so many opportunities to uh, just make it better. And yeah, and the, like you guys were just saying about all the chatter on Facebook, it's like, I just want to try to like get some real, I don't know, a real voice or something that, I can hopefully try to be. Um, I really, so we live in the Indian Peaks neighborhood, kind of right behind the school. So we're close to the rink and close to the Mud Lake trails and stuff. And um, a big part of like what I see as important is like our outreach, both the BOT and the PROSAB, is just like outreach into the community where we're talking about doing things, new trails, new features, new stuff, and really like trying to mitigate a lot of the backlash that happens on social media to like try and get people on board early in the process and address people's concerns and all that stuff. So um, yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it was a big part of my kind of just general push on the BOT. But I was born in Nederland. I love this place. And my kid is here. He never wants to leave, and so I'm just like, if he doesn't want to leave, like I kind of owe it to all of us to get all the way, make it all the way through. So that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you on the board and get to know you.
To have you.
Kind of jealous that
Cool.
you're going.
Yeah, I look forward to working with everybody.
Cool. Does anybody have any questions or I don't want to put them on the spot too much? Okay. All right, fabulous. We will move on then. So then do we have just to actually wrap up the conversation about dog parks? So do you think that next month, I know you're going to be kind of extra busy. Do you think next month you could give us some like background on that and then we can figure out where to take it from?
Can we push that out a little bit? I'm going
Yes.
to be incredibly busy for the next couple of months.
Yeah. Maybe like circle back in June and see where things are at.
Sounds great.
Okay. So we can maybe make that a next step. And in the meantime, there are other people who have some of the background too. I think there are a couple of people who like volunteered their time as far as I can tell, but probably be best to get an update from Nikki. All right, so we are on to discussion items. Miranda, you're back, right?
Yes, sorry, I had to come off mute. Yep.
Yeah, Sure. So you're up first, the Prost.
So I saw my name on this, but I actually think it would probably be more appropriate to kick this over to Nikki. So I won't be finishing the post with you.
So we got our updates from Amy Cassidy, and those were sent to you all for your reviews, just so you could look it over. One of the things that's happening with the Prost is that, we need to wait for the comprehensive plan to be completed in order to complete Prost. So comprehensive plan is scheduled to be completed December of 2024, which then pushes Prost out a ways, because we have to wait for those studies and surveys and results to come in. My goal for the next Prost committee meeting is to look over the document and see if there's anything that we can keep going on. Is there any projects over the next, 8 months? 8 months or so. Math was hard just then. The next 8 months or so, is there anything that we can do while we're waiting for the comprehensive plan to come out? And to kind of move forward with that stuff. That is gonna push the goal. So that means we're not gonna meet the goal of having the Prost plan completed by December 2024. It is my hope then to push that goal to December of 2025. Or sooner if we can, but it really is, we need that comprehensive plan to be completed before we can complete the Prost.
And why is that?
Because it's gonna have all the studies and all of the surveys, and it's gonna have all kinds of parks information on what the comprehensive plan looks like for parks. So the two documents are really hand in hand. We really can't complete the Prost effectively without the comprehensive plan. So I still want to have meetings, but I think our meetings would probably be less if there's not a whole lot that we can do with the document. And, to just kind of button up what we do have, chapters 1 through 4 or 2 through 4.
It's possible we could work with what the Dr. Cox students did last year and put that in chapter format.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And that's the other thing I was thinking as well, is if we do push our deadline back, that does give us another, actually
Right,
2
another
more.
rounds of Dr. Cox.
Yep.
Yeah, because then the next would be like late summer, I assume.
I think it's like October don't quote me on that, but I believe it's October and then another one in March. Something
I
like that.
thought it would be a lot with the semester.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Because I think the spring one happens in like the November, December timeframe, and then they start January. That's been my recollection.
Yeah.
Miranda might know if she's able to chime in.
Do you remember the timeline for the capstone students? Miranda,
No,
off the top.
I actually don't off the top of my head. I can see if I can search my emails.
I do think Alex is right. I think it's lined up with the semester where they
Yep.
come in September, and they choose their battles, and then again in January or something like that.
Yeah,
They choose their
right.
battles, for December.
And is the comprehensive plan doing more like parks specific, like research and surveying, or is it more from all of the other components, or curious? like,
Miranda,
what
can
they're
you
doing?
answer that?
Yeah, so there will be a parks component, of course, not as robust as the pros, but they did meet with Nikki. They obviously came and talked to you all. There's a natural resources section. And so there will be a whole piece about recreation parks, open space, natural resources.
Yeah, but more like, is it gonna be more than, so I have the document that you sent out during last meeting that has like sort of an update from like the engagement they did around a bunch of different areas, including parks and recreation and open space. So like, will there be, what exactly are they doing that we're waiting for, I guess, is my question.
So it's going to be right now they're working on existing conditions. And so they're pulling together a document that identifies kind of all what's currently happening in the space of parks, recs, trails, and open space. And then of course, from existing conditions, we'll start to, and feedback received through surveys, will start to make their recommendation list of short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals.
Hi. Come on in. Welcome.
Join the folks.
Of course.
Of
it is.
course, grab a seat.
I am laid out downstairs at a basketball meeting.
No worries.
Not at all. Grab a seat. We've been joined by a member of the public, so just to share for the folks on WebEx. Got it. Okay. So I guess we will just put a pin in that in terms of, or maybe you guys can let us know at your next
Yeah,
meeting, sort
so
of what you
we
think.
need- Is it, would be like May 8th, Nikki, or
Days meeting. The day.
maybe May 9th, second Thursday, is that when we're supposed to meet?
We could do that, yes.
I think that's what's on the calendar, but I'm just basically asking, like,
Sure.
is that sticking?
I think we should.
Okay.
I think that the committee of us, not only should get Miranda's parting words of wisdom, but also yourself, myself, and Sam can discuss, next steps.
Yeah.
I'm right on that, right, Miranda, May 9th?
Sorry, it takes a minute to unmute. Yes, you are correct.
So maybe at the next PROSAB meeting, y'all can just update us on what you're thinking in terms of next steps and if there's anything anybody else can do or.
Yeah, I doubt we would have anything else for you to review by the next PROSAB meeting, but we could say if we've identified additional chapters that we anticipate being able to review the rest of the calendar year.
And the documents that Miranda did send around already, the updates from the CTO, is there anything that we should all be doing within, like, should we be going in and like leaving comments or anything like before the next meeting, or are they just like kind of on hold?
No,
I
not
think
yet. So as soon as I get the so what they're doing is memos that kind of capture everything. As soon as I get the memos, I'll do an initial review and then I'll actually send it on to PROSAB for feedback. And I expect to get all the existing conditions by next Friday.
And sorry, the memos are from SC group?
Yep,
Or
from SE group, but the memos will be specific to existing conditions for right now.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the question I was asking is not related to the comprehensive plan. The question I was asking is related to the PROST updates that we got from Amy at the.
Sorry.
So like the documents that you sent around, there's 4 of them. Is there anything like we should all be doing between now and the next meeting?
Sorry, I guess it's really up to you if you have feedback that you want to give us for Amy. I think Amy's time with us is coming to a close though. I think she was only authorized to go until June. So yeah, I think send me, Alex, and Nikki any feedback you have.
Those are ready for review, right, Miranda? Like the
Yes, they are. Yep.
3 or 4 have reviewed,
Yep.
we're good, thought for input.
Right.
So-
Yes.
If anyone on PROSAB wants to give feedback, then do that between, like, what's the deadline?
Well, what we've been doing in the past is doing it live in the meeting. So like,
Next meeting.
it's really up to you guys. I've already reviewed it.
Mhm.
Because I thought we were reviewing it today.
Yeah, so did I, but I guess I would
Next
actually
week.
put it back to the committee because it's kind of up to you guys if you want to, like, when and how you want to do that. So,
Let's do it next meeting.
Yeah, let's do next meeting.
Like, might as well just check off. Because then how many chapters will we have had approved? 4 or
4.
5?
Mhm. 4.
Yeah.
so you want all 4 of those documents that Miranda sent, we'll walk through at the next meeting?
Aren't there only 3?
There's 3 and then there's the Do Nederland right, which I was.
Oh, that was just,
Yeah,
you
no.
put that in a separate document,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
like linked, like it's supposed to link out from the plan to the Do Netherland, right? So it's not a separate chapter, but we didn't have a place where that material was housed. So the idea is it would be housed at a URL
Yeah.
on the,
Somewhere.
on the PROSAB page or something like that.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
there's only 3 chapters. Sorry, this is all very
2,
confusing.
No,
3, and
it's okay.
4 are the chapters that you'll
Yeah.
be reviewing.
Okay.
And then it's Do
Chapters.
Nederland, it's kind of like just a standalone like document that like, I was just wondering like the history of it, or was it like from the first post or?
That's from the Colorado Tourism Office. that, that's the big thing that they're doing for us, is helping Nederland come up with our campaign.
Oh, okay, so this is part of the CTO campaign. Okay, got it.
So it's not Prost, yeah, it's
It's
not
not-
Prost specific.
But we would like to link to it in PROSAB.
Got it,
Which is,
okay.
it was kind of lengthy to put the whole thing in prose, so
Mhm.
that was.
Okay.
I like your idea though of taking the prior capstone student work and turning that into a chapter form.
Yeah, I think we should.
And yeah.
Cool. All right, so we'll have that on next month's agenda. Alex, will you will you facilitate that conversation, or would that be Nikki, or who wants to?
We'll hang out. That'll be great.
Yeah, can you put both our names on there?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sorry for the confusion.
Yeah. Scatterbrained too.
Aren't we all? All right, any other questions anybody has on the Prost update / CTO updates?
Just, Nikki, are you gonna put together, are you waiting to put together a different calendar to replace the one Miranda had previously put together?
I think we should, yeah, I'm not opposed to keeping our dates the same as so long as we need that date. Do you know what I mean? In that being, if we don't have anything to review, if we find that we've run out of material to review, then maybe we postpone our meetings until after the comprehensive plan comes out.
Okay.
But I would like to keep our momentum. I'd like to keep things moving along and to have the document as close to ready as we can by the time that comprehensive plan comes out. And then just be able to pull and plug and hopefully. Right now, I'm thinking if I had to adjust my goal, I'd just say December 2025. But it's possible that the adjustment of the goal would actually look more like July of 2025 or something like that. If we thought we're only going to need a little bit of time, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
That's my thought on that.
Okay.
This time.
Also, really granular question. If we have thoughts on those documents, is it okay to just put them in the Google Doc? Or do we have to send them to you
There were
guys?
concerns about that. That's why we were doing the live discussion. Aren't there Quora issues with the shared doc?
Yes.
That's
Right,
why
Miranda?
we're taking this approach of live
Yes,
discussion.
there is. But you can either send it directly or we talk about it in a meeting.
Excellent point. Thank you. I was like, why aren't we just doing that? And
I
then,
know.
of course. Yeah, no, I get you. Thank you for reminding me of that. Cool, sweet. Okay. All right, let's move on to staff report
Okay.
from Queen of Netherlands. Done.
All right, so we just talked about the updates from Amy, and then we'll resume our meetings in May. The objective that I have, another goal that I have through the BOT is the Safer Main Streets grant. That project is gonna go out for bid in the next coming weeks. Real timeline is beholden to the CDOT timeline, but we've agreed to milling a recess into the asphalt and striping and beaconed crosswalks at the library and the rock shop. Those will be beaconed. A new crossing at Jefferson and Highway 72. We're hopeful that there are this huge overlay and shoulder widening project. Then we have our Safer Main Streets and our TIPS project. So this is going to be a very busy summer construction wise. Prepare yourself while driving.
Did we get new signs, crossing signs?
We will have new crosswalks. This is part of this Safer Main Streets.
From the other day.
Oh, that one blew down in a windstorm.
Oh, okay, the one like BNF, like by the BNF regular.
Oh, well,
Has that been there?
that's been there for forever.
Oh.
But they did replace the one by the ICT. Maybe they might have put in a, like, they might have like put in a shiny one or something like that, maybe like drew your attention. Yeah, all right.
Hey, Nikki, quick question. I remember in one of the BOT meetings, they were talking about some kind of like median divider, island separator, something for those crosswalks. Did that,
No,
Never
that
get-
those did not-
any traction?
no approval from CDOT on this
Okay.
The plowing.
because of the plowing. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what it sounded like, was that was just like too much of a blocker to plowing.
And space, we don't have enough space on that highway to create that. We have discussed, redoing the roundabout area to make it, more of a slowdown instead of a slingshot or a catapult.
But that's like the CDOT is, I mean, the roundabout is a weird mix of CDOT and town, right?
Roundabout belongs to CDOT, all of it,
Even the middle?
even the middle.
Okay, all right, cool. That's good to
Maintain
know.
we maintain everything, but that whole roundabout belongs to CDOT, not us.
Okay,
But
cool.
puts in their highway or their sidewalk or whatever CDOT does, and then town maintains everything.
That doesn't seem like a good deal. No comment.
So the biggest happenings of March of 2024 was the snow we experienced starting on the 13th. The snow was so deep and heavy that our gator didn't make it through. And even if it would have made it through, the gator, the front differential housing exploded. So it was down at John Deere getting a new one for free. And that was a battle. It was a battle. Park staff worked with streets to try and help clear the roads before moving onto the sidewalks and trails. Thanks to the utilities department for giving us access to their new Bobcat with the snow blower attachment that we were able to use on many of the wider sidewalk sections. On the narrower sections, such as around Town Hall, across the driving bridge, around the roundabout, we ended up using either a push snow blower and shovels, and it was literally a week and a couple days of shoveling. It was really hard work. We actually, around the roundabout section, had to call the police to come give us traffic control because people were literally slingshotting around that thing and honking their horns at us and screaming at us. It was absolutely ridiculous. People got out of their houses and forgot how to behave, I swear to God. Or maybe they had like, I don't know. It was a scary day, actually. Park staff is often called in to help town hall with their maintenance needs. During the snow, the heat in the annex building went out. I discovered that the vent for the heater had been completely covered by snow, that it had slid off both the town hall and the annex roof. And so when you opened up the gate that goes between the two buildings, it was literally a 6-foot wall of ice hard packed. And so that took Ben and I a couple hours of shoveling. Once the snow was removed, we were able to restore heat to the building. We also put in a new wall to create a more private space in the entry area. So it's basically like we created an office for Peter. And it achieves a more private space for our growing staff. And that's about all for the month of March.
Thank you.
How did the potluck go, last month that the DOT hosted for you all after the snow event?
It was good. There was a couple staff that showed up. Myself and Josh and Miranda were there, and Matt Freed from the streets department showed up. It was fun. It was nice. They had invited other people that do plowing as well, so the mine guys were all there, and there was a lot of people there, just not a lot of staff. So that storm really burnt them out.
Yeah.
Badly. And it took a minute for them to recover. So, and it wasn't just physically, it was also mentally very exhausting to get literally cussed out while you were in your machines. More than one time, the police were called to different areas to try and calm residents. It that was a really exhausting storm. And then it followed back to back by the power outage, and that was really exhausting as well. So Brian was on call that particular weekend, and I think he got called out 6 or 7 times. We went through 770 gallons of diesel fuel in the generators around town, not including the 2 generators that we have that are plumbed into natural gas. So it was a constant filling and, you know, just trying to check on people and check on your neighbors and that kind of thing. So it was just a whammy of a month as far as weather went. That's for sure.
Yes.
You still have a vacancy on your team, Nikki?
No,
No,
I'm
you're all
fully
staffed.
staffed, but it's very soon, probably middle of May, we'll be putting out for the temporary summer positions, which Kat can attest to. They can be a very, very fun positions. So we'll be hiring 3 part-time summer staff
Nice.
this year. So that'll come out in May. Hopeful to hire those 3 employees by mid-June. They'll be with me for 12 weeks. The DDA is paying for 2, and then Parks is budgeted for 1 during the summer and 1 during the winter. The ones that the DDA pays for will be kind of beholden to the downtown area. That doesn't mean that has to be the same person that's stuck down there every single day, all day. I could say, okay, today you're the DDA, or however that looks. So we'll have a lot more staff coming very soon as well. Fun positions. I've had several people already expressing interest, so.
And during your stint as town administrator, you're doing both jobs at the same time?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
See my hat? It's like,
You don't get any extra bodies aside from the part-time person?
no, nope. So the way that Miranda and I have envisioned this though is really like, I'm not gonna be doing land use. That's gonna be Britt. And I'm not gonna be doing Rita's job. I'm not gonna be doing, Miranda takes on a lot of hats and a lot of roles. And really, we're gonna really expect the staff that are in those positions to take on the things that they need to take on. I won't be doing anything with water. I won't be doing the town clerk. I'm really just there to support staff. But what I feel like I need during that time is for staff to support me too. So I'm not coming into this position thinking I'm gonna come in and change Nederland or control Nederland in any way, shape or form. And in fact, I'm just gonna be, you know, pretty much doing what I'm doing except more. So, yeah, so that's my kind of vision about how that will work. And it will only be for a couple of months, so I'm taking these next couple of weeks to try and remember why I love this place. And I'll be taking as much time off as I can over the next, 8 days, 9 days, taking as much time off as I can to remember why I love this place, so that over the next few months, while I'm being super stressed out by this place, maybe I'll have some fond memories to look back on. I've looked at Nederland. I've been up here since 1989, and I've always, for the last 10 years, been looking at it through the lens of work. And I don't know how to change that. So I'm gonna try. If anybody has got a great place that I should go see in Nederland, let me know. Sitting by a creek throwing rocks at rocks for a while, see what happens.
I went to the Caribou Room on Friday night and it was pretty fun.
I've never been.
Oh, nice.
They have food.
Yeah,
People keeps inviting me, they keep inviting me, and
we should go. It is fun.
it's hard for me to go out in Nederland.
That's fair.
People talk to me about work. As soon as
You
I,
gotta wear a disguise.
Definitely.
I put my hair down and wear a skirt.
Yeah.
And I point to the skirt and say, this means I'm not working.
I know, when I ran into it at Ned Wine and Jazz a couple of years ago, I was like, Nikki, like I did not recognize her.
Yeah. Yep. So I got a pretty good incognito.
Those
But
glasses with like the mustache and
Yeah.
the nose, like,
Beer goggles.
that'd be super subtle.
Miranda's resignation letter that she offered consulting is did the town take her up on that? Like, well.
Yes, yes, so we'll have access, we'll all have access. The town staff will have access to Miranda through me. Or with my approval, I guess you would say, but I'll have access to Miranda if I'm really stumped on something.
Yeah, and it looks like they're moving very speedily with the hiring process too, so hopefully it won't be too long that you're double.
End of June is my hopeful timeline, that I'll be out of that role end of June. So
Well,
I'm going to the Billy Joel concert July 12th, so something to look forward to. My mom's
Wait, what's July 12th?
Billy Joel,
Oh, fun. In
Is it
Denver?
Where is it?
Horsfield.
Oh, yes.
So I got tickets and invited my mom, because my mom used to listen to it with me when I was a kid. So for my birthday, I got my mom a ticket to the Billy Joel concert.
That's so nice.
love it. We'll expect a report back on Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Our July meeting.
It's his last concert, so.
If I ask a question,
Sure.
last week, I think it was your crew was going up Doe Trail cutting trees down
That would be the streets crew.
the street.
Mhm.
Do you know what was that about?
They're preparing to grade the roads this summer, and so not only were they doing it for safety purposes, but also to make sure that the road was wide enough for their equipment to come down while they're grading.
Yeah, just curious. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She lives on them too.
And me.
Yeah, sorry. They did that up high too.
They go down now.
You really have a big Springs over representation
I
there.
don't think they're done, so you'll probably see more of that.
Didn't even see them. Cool. Well, thank you, Nikki, and we will try to make your PROSAB experience as enjoyable as possible while you're doing two jobs. So
Still my favorite board.
shh, don't tell anyone.
And strike that from the record, please.
So I had an update on I mean, we all know the election results, but I had a thing from Sam on here, but he last minute wasn't able to come. So we don't have that on the agenda. Like, I was just curious, like what the, subcommittee was thinking, if they were gonna like take a break or like explore other options or what, but
I'm washing my
Pat, can
hands
I
of it.
just jump in? And I realize Sam's not here, but I did get a voicemail today from American Ramp Company. So Nikki, this is more for you, I guess. I forwarded it to you, but they, of course, need to get paid and also want to know what we're doing too. And so I think we need to sit down with the DDA to discuss next steps on that as well, because obviously the funding wasn't exhausted, but we're kind of in a weird space now where, of course, they're not going to keep designing Chipeta following the election result.
Right. Yeah, we'll definitely have to have a discussion. There's really no other space for a pump track to go in town limits. Jesse had at one point in time mentioned someplace near the high school that would have nearly the same layout as Chipeta does, but I'm not, that takes it out of my hands because it's not on town land.
And I guess, Kat, maybe my other question is, you now, of course, have a member of that committee, Jesse, which is great, but he's a community member. Is there any desire to add in another PROSAB member to this, or are you wanting it to continue forward with just Sam?
to add what? To who?
To add
Okay.
another PROSAB member to be a liaison for this subcommittee while it still exists? Or do you want it to just be Sam and then Jesse as a community member?
Oh, I mean, I think that's up to the subcommittee. It's, or other people can weigh in for sure. I mean, it's their project to sort of decide what they want to do with in terms of next steps, and like bring that to the larger board. But so that's what I was kind of hoping Sam would share with us tonight. But yeah, if anyone has thoughts on that, definitely open to hearing them.
I think it ties into the discussion of revisiting our goals entirely, because if that's no longer a goal, you wouldn't want to devote any PROSAB member more than one
Exactly.
PROSAB member, so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're definitely in a bit of a like unknown spot, because like I don't know if like what I don't know, like as the chair, is if it's worth bringing to the group, because I don't know if the current subcommittee members have an interest in like sort of revisiting, other than wrapping up, obviously, like things need to be wrapped up with the DDA and with the American Ramp Company. But beyond that, I don't know if like Sam is interested in like continuing to push this forward. I don't know, like, you know, so I don't have that information. So if anyone on the board has any other information that we should have, definitely share. But like, yeah,
Push that till Sam can be here.
yeah. So I think we need Sam to sort of speak up from that perspective and see if Jesse's even still interested in, you know, as a community member being involved with it. I have no idea.
Yeah,
So
I suspect he will. I also, and I don't know if anybody else heard this, but you know, Gavin Goodrich, the principal at Nederland Middle School, also offered. Obviously, you know, he doesn't have full authority to offer, but he offered that east field by the middle school as a possible location. So I don't know if that changes the equation at all, but anyway, I think we should wait until Sam's here.
yeah, I mean, I think like any next steps with like alternate potential locations, whether in or out of town jurisdiction, kind of again go back to is the subcommittee still interested in like moving this forward? And then depending on that answer, is PROSAB still interested in sort of having that on a list of priorities, which I think is a question that we need to revisit. And I think people will probably have different opinions on that, which is why I don't want to like speak for anyone, you know? So I do think we need to know what the subcommittee wants to do. And then based on that, we need to like sort of, it's not like a vote necessarily, but I think we need to like have like a sense of the room. Like, is PROSAB interested in still like having this on our list of priorities? So.
But I think with respect to DDA with that, because there's nowhere else within DDA jurisdiction that could.
Correct.
Yeah, I really don't think so. I mean,
So-
you would know the answer to that.
There's no loose end with respect to DDA. It's just an issue of whether we want to do it at all.
Yeah. Well, I think Brian was saying a loose end just to follow up with them. And like, that's what I meant with that. Like, just just close it off, talk with American, because there is the money that
Yeah.
was spent and I don't know where all that stands, but so.
One question I had, or and maybe this is probably better for like the bigger discussion, but it's my understanding that the ballot initiative it's kind of like a temperature check for that location, but it's not necessarily like it was more of a,
That is.
you know, I'm not expressing a position on this one way or the other, but that's not the end all be all. Like Sam and PROSAB hypothetically could still pursue this.
That is
It's
correct.
just that vote was more of a temperature check to see where people
Mhm.
stood on that location.
Correct. It was not binding.
Yeah, and
Or do
totally.
we have
And I think, you know,
the authority? It would always
it was
be
a little
DOT, so.
it was a little bit tricky with the you know, like it was so specific that, you know, a no vote doesn't tell us like, oh, is it people don't like where it is and they don't like a pump track, they don't like a asphalt pump track. Like it was kind of, you know, I mean, I know it was an intention to make it specific, but it also had the flip side of not giving us a lot of information about what the veto means.
My understanding was there was also legal language ballot requirements, like we couldn't have made it broader, so we'll never get a broader temp check on this through a ballot measure, like it will always have to be very specific, yes, no, not multiple choice.
Right. Yeah, it's
So-
not like we could put 5 different locations
Right.
in the ballot and then like,
And the different designs and whatnot.
right, which would be
No,
ridiculous,
people-
but.
Made their pitch.
But yeah, no, I mean, you know, and like Luke, if you're interested in reaching, like I get the impression that you may also be like sort of like interested in this particular type project. So if you're interested in reaching out to Sam one-on-one, definitely like go for it. There's no reason not to say that you're our replacement, Jesse, but like definitely feel free to do that. But then yeah, I think we just need to know from the subcommittee, like is there still a subcommittee? Is there still an interest? And then I do think the vast majority of other potential locations are not in town jurisdiction. So then it becomes not a PROSAB project. With like, I guess, yeah. And then there's the whole discussion of the by the tennis courts thing and the like 8 other problems that that causes in terms of like, yeah, so. So yeah, but I do think like it's definitely an open question if the subcommittee would like to continue pushing this forward. So I think if that's the case, then I would love to, yeah, would love to hear it. So does that make sense to everybody? Cool. And yeah. But that gets us to our next thing, which is looking at what does everybody have, so I put a link. So the next agenda item, which I put on the agenda, was I would love to look at the initial engagement information that we got from Miranda from the comprehensive plan outreach, because I thought there was some really interesting, I think the whole thing is interesting, but there's sort of engagement information from a series of I guess it's actually all in person or in person and online surveys. It's both, right? Yeah. Related to several different things. So like housing, economic development, but also specifically parks, recreation, and open space, and also sustainability, which a lot of the sustainability stuff overlapped with our stuff. So I did actually just want to ask people to look at it. And I wanted to walk through some of the things. I think for like, and this is me taking a little bit of like liberty as the chair. I do think like, I think there are a lot of different lessons and learnings to get from sort of the pump track project and the like, you know, all of that. And I don't want to go into that specifically, but I do think like I would really like to figure out what is possible going forward in terms of utilizing the like public engagement that we already have happening in a real like not just one website or Facebook page or like whatever, like in a real like sustained way to figure out like what our priorities are going forward. And so that's kind of why I wanted to take a sec to actually like look at what was in here. Not that we can ever like do anything that 100% of people are going to be into. That's just never going to happen. But, you know, I did just want to take a sec to look at this. So I'm not going to go through like the whole thing. And I do want to actually have a conversation, but like, I did want to just look at sort of like the couple of different vision pieces. So on the second page of this, there's like, what are 3 words that describe your vision for Nederland? One was accessible.
Sure.
Oh yeah, sorry if anyone doesn't have a computer. So the top, there are 4 kind of answers in the document, but the top 3 were ones I highlighted. So accessible and walkable, small, local, friendly, and unique, nature, connection to the outdoors, and sustainable living. And then in terms of opportunities seen, one specifically was improve recreation and community facilities and conservation and promoting sustainability. And then one of the 3 issues was community relations and resistance to change, which I do think, right? Like it's not unique to Nederland. It's a thing that happens all over the place, but it is like we are in a very challenging situation in terms of sort of wanting to really like respect like community input, but also having sort of a hard rock in a hard place type of situation. So anyway, we're actually the first branch of government in here. So if you look at the document, the first page under Parks, Recreation, and Open Space, there's a picture of the board that was up here. I was actually here for this. So there's a picture of the board where people walked around and like put stickers on things that they liked or disliked. And then also like the vision statement from the comprehensive plan regarding parks, recreation, and open space. So that's good to look at like a little bit closer when you can like zoom in on the actual image. But on the next page, they did lay out sort of, I'm just going to read this since not everybody has the document, but said when asked what kind of recreational offerings are currently missing in Nederland, there was clear demand for the idea of developing a pool facility. Other common responses from the open house and survey include a dog park, pump track, and outdoor event space / stage. I can't read. There were also several comments in the online survey about modernizing and expanding the programming at the community center. When asked to prioritize which initiatives The top 3 priorities emerging from the online survey were to maintain and enhance local walking trail systems, maintain existing outdoor recreation facilities, and develop trail connections to adjacent county and forest lands. And if you look at the chart below that, that's how they lay them out. So number 1, maintain or enhance local walking trail system. Number 2, maintain existing outdoor recreation facilities. And then they go down from there, but you guys can look at them. So it's not like any sort of like shocking or like miracle information, but it's kind of cool to see, you know, at least some sort of non-biased survey results that like, sort of lay out what folks are interested in from, I don't know. So, and you've seen this too, you feel free to add if there's anything you want to add.
I think it's really important. At some point in time, we've got to stop letting the voice of the 10 or 12 people in this town dictate everything that happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm over it.
Heck
I'm
yeah.
over it. And I know Alex is over it. And I'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting that it's, there's a little bit more higher percentage about maintaining existing indoor and outdoor facilities compared to expanding. And then it seems like what got the highest amount of engagement or votes or however you want to say it is maintaining or enhancing the local walking trail system and connection to downtown and to neighborhoods. Maybe that's something that we can think about moving forward. I think part of that is obviously like supporting Nikki and her department and so they can maintain all that stuff.
I had a meeting this week with Jill Dreves and Gavin Coombs, and I've got a proposal from Jesse Sievers to help rebuild some of the trails in around Nederland. And Jill and Gavin and I were discussing the recreation corridor that's going to be up and around the rink area. Jesse's original desire was to try and build some of these trails up in the Moose Meadows area, and I said no, not until we really decide where we wanted to start, where we wanted to end, and have the least amount of impact to that area, especially without community outreach. In that.
Yeah. It's right about
Can't hear you.
kind of through from the rink over to, oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah, sorry. You're a little better now. Maybe try starting over.
Yeah. We just pulled into Leadville. Yeah, Jesse had talked to me about the trail that he had proposed that would connect kind of behind the rink over to the elementary school. And I think that's a really viable option.
Yeah, there already is one. There's just a finger of it that doesn't quite, you'll hit the road.
Right, but I think, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like he was talking about connecting that where it dumps out into Fairwood Ridge neighborhood, instead, bring it back through the woods, and so you come out more where the other trails intersect.
Yep.
That trail that you described is actually on maps for that complex. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
At some point, that was part of Simon's plan.
So Jill and Gavin and myself met this past week, just to try and build, some momentum on connectivity and not just the connectivity component, but also using the trails to be informational, a source of exercise. You can put these little, see them in other places where you stop and do 10 pull-ups or, whatever components like that. Maybe have some informational signage that talks about history or flora and fauna or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And so Jill and Gavin and I had a really wonderful meeting this past week, and this all stemmed from Jill and I trying to partner for a GoCo grant that we don't qualify for under that particular grant, but maybe there's a different grant that we could partner with Wild Bear, the town in Wild Bear, to try and get some connectivity and playscapes.
Nice.
I feel like,
Um,
oh,
can I just pipe in real quick? One of the things when I talked to the youth advisory board, like the high school kids, and one of the things that they were really pushing for was and I guess it's been on the radar for a long time, was a, pedestrian / bike path between the middle, senior high school and town. Because there's, kids who walk to school from Old Town and they have to walk along the road, and especially in the winter, that's super sketchy. So that's in that same category.
That's something that I'm working with Boulder County on, and every year I apply to get Boulder County money. That section of trail is challenging because of it's $1 million section of sidewalk, but it would be a huge connectivity piece. So unfortunately, town of Nederland is a little bit, I guess you could say, small potatoes compared to all of the other different Boulder County towns and entities and things. But this year I actually got a little bit more momentum on that, a little bit more recognition. The challenge is the private landowner, and Boulder County, and how would that sidewalk look, and how we would have to build up the shoulder of the road. It's $1 million project, but it's definitely one that's been on my radar for many years.
is there anything?
Yeah, definitely. If I can help with that one, definitely let me know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like PROSAB, or obviously we could encourage also the youth advisory board to maybe write letters to Boulder, encouraging them if that would help.
They're because I've been pushing it in their face for the last 10 years. Boulder County is very well aware of the need for this project. And so this year it got a little bit more momentum because I pushed the safety component. This isn't just a trail that we want because we think you should ride your bike from Longmont to Lyman. So this is a trail that we need because we're risking the safety of our kids. And it's a trail that would connect to Sugar Mag, and it would connect up into the West Magnolia area, and it would connect to Eldora eventually, whatever. But so it did actually, I was pretty pleased at the last meeting to hear Lafayette Lions Superior say we don't want the money if Nederland needs it more. Which is the first time I've ever heard that. Lions, on the other hand, was like, well, my project is shovel ready. Well, I don't need a shovel. I'm not shovel ready. I need the design. I need the money for design. So, but to hear a few of the communities say, we don't really need the money if Nederland needs it more, was actually like, oh, I got all excited. Thank you for recognizing that this is not just a pretty trail.
Changes need to happen up here.
Need to happen.
Yeah.
That's where I ever get money. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, they probably would.
If there's an accident, it's gonna be probably someone dying to their property. To our property.
Truly, that's a good point.
With regard to walkability and with Moose Meadows specifically, I have had a chance to talk with some people that were involved in saws and slaws beforehand. There's a lot of enthusiasm to get this done.
Great.
Which may not really affect the walkability so much, but would it certainly affect the quality of that open space. And
To get what done? Sorry.
to take
Some mitigation.
to remove dead wood, fallen down trees from that area, both to beautify the area and improve its uses of its.
Not so much mitigation as creating a healthy forest.
Yes.
Because mitigation can be clear cutting.
That is not what we are up to.
No,
We are,
that's not.
for the record,
Yeah.
removing fallen trees.
I trust you not to clear cut Moose Meadows.
Wouldn't in a million years disturb like that.
Also, if anyone hasn't been up there since we made it Moose Meadows, CT inspired me and I went up there 5 times last summer. It's gorgeous. It is so beautiful.
We need to change the entry point. We need to pull the entry point off of that private land and put it onto the town land, which is
So
not even 200 feet away.
one of the things, I'm sorry if this is not on topic, I could bring it up at the end.
No, I think we're fine. Let's circle back and wrap this up after, but yeah, no, please.
One of the things I want to propose just for preliminary saws and slaws and doing that removal and putting up the sign that we made.
Yeah.
Would be to pick a date in July for a big barbecue at my place, which is right next to Moose Meadows.
Mhm.
And a day of volunteerism, getting people involved, getting their hands dirty,
Yeah.
chainsaws and such, and removing a bunch of stuff there. Be a real victory for Parks Board, and it would be a great thing to get done and a great call to action for community members to really pull up their sleeves and do the work, because there's just a limitless amount of that to be done.
Potlucks that Saws and Slaws used to have were epic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love that idea. I think that sounds great.
That was really,
So
those were fun days.
I was thinking something around mid-July, date to be determined, but just to let you guys know what I've got kind of started.
Not July 12th.
Not July 12th.
Unless Billy Joel's invited.
Oh, surely. Yeah. I'm
Does he
sure
know to
he'd
use a
be all-
chainsaw?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure he knows all about chainsaws.
Love that idea. I think it's like, yeah, I feel like that's a good role for PROSAB too, is to do like more community
Absolutely.
volunteer-y, hands-on type stuff like that, and sort of really build the
Healthy.
relationships and like get the work done and all that fun biz. Cool. So then the only other thing in terms of, so the primary reason I wanted to just bring this up was both to like suggest people look at it, and then also at the SAB stuff, because it is kind of relevant to us. Like the next page is the sustainability stuff. Number 1 is mitigating wildfire risk, the number 1 priority under that area. Number 2 is enhancing walkability, bikeability, ADA friendly paths. So also super relevant. And then the third is also super relevant, protecting watershed and water supply. So super relevant, definitely under the SAB category. But yeah, so like all I wanted to do was like put a bug in everyone's ear about it might be a good idea for us to put something on the agenda to revisit what we have as our top goals. I think we do need a little more information about like what Sam's thinking, and probably, oh, we need an update on the rink stuff too. I think Miranda said that there was one.
There is one.
But yeah, so I do think we're good. Like, I think we have done a lot of stuff in the last few months, year, and we have a lot of new information, and maybe it would be a good idea to like revisit some of the goals. So I don't want to do that tonight, because like I don't think we're quite ready, but maybe next month, like we could start that conversation.
Yeah.
So,
It's gonna be important.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to map what's in here to what we could do.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
The issue is some of it's a little bit vague, like, you
Yeah.
know, maintain or enhance. We don't know
Right.
whether people are indexing to one or the other.
Exactly.
yeah.
And I also think you all put a lot of good information. It's like, it was like, there was a lot, so I didn't like absorb it all, but there's quite a bit of stuff in the update, the PROSAB update from just the last year or two. So maybe we could like throw it all together and like see what rises to the top in terms of like, and then maybe like, it's not like we can all like, you know, do all of the maintenance and enhancement, but could we do stuff like CT is suggesting to like have a community, like bring community together to support that one day, or like, you know, and then, you know, continue to advocate for like staff to get paid well and supported, and that's, you know what I mean? Like there are a bunch of different things, but
I think, if I recall, maintaining was one of our priorities, that we discussed when we were discussing our plans for this year. And I remember seeing something about the playground also needs updated.
That's
So
goals.
I think we could discuss like what, like kind of identify everything that needs updated, everything that needs to be maintained, and where we are at, you know, each structure of
That's-
maintaining everything, and then prioritize that as well.
I guess, so that's happening already as well with, the town is going through asset mapping. And so, not just GIS, but also to look at what assets we have and when do they need updated. There are things that are on my BOT goals that PROSAB didn't take up as goals, like the ADA playground equipment at Chipeta Park. I'd love to see one of these goals here that we have at PROSAB change to Saws and Slaws to make that a more robust program, because that is a huge thing. And it's a volunteer thing, but
People are fired up for it.
yeah, and it's something that I hear more often than dog park. I hear
Yeah.
mitigation or a tree down or healthy forests or whatever. But
and I don't think like your town goals like don't need to be changed or updated, right? It's more like the PROSAB goals. So like, and like I think,
one of my town goals is the pros plan. So
yeah. So like, how do we, like what you're saying, like in our like sort of purview in there, like what should we be taking on? And, but yeah,
Mhm.
that would be kind of like, because the volunteer program that like you guys are on, like that could in fact actually maybe like split into two different things, right? Like one could be a saws and a slaws type thing, and one could be a,
Everyday volunteers,
yeah,
weed pulls or skate
like,
park.
yeah, like weed pulls, like stuff you don't need like the
Trash
signs,
box.
like, I won't chop my hand off with the,
You see those familiar feathery big monsters that poking up through the dirt.
I know, I saw them in front of a Decent Bagel the other day while I was waiting for my sandwich,
Yep.
and I was like,
Get that.
they did, I think we should do the email to businesses again though, because they took them down immediately after we sent the email
Oh,
out
really?
to the business listserv last year, so maybe I'll try to get that before we lose Miranda.
Even if they mow them or weed whack them before they turn to flowers, at least we're not
Exactly.
spreading them. Yeah, so,
And if you can hurt the plant a few times,
yeah,
it'll peter out.
That's fair.
better be. I like it.
For a lot of plants, yeah.
For
I
some,
mean,
depends, yeah, yeah, not for the musk thistle, unfortunately, but.
those things are damn near.
Yucky.
But anyway, so like, yeah, why don't we like just put it like, take a look at this, the other stuff, like think about sort of what, you know, and then I think maybe next time I'll try to like start a conversation about like if, and we'll get more info from Sam and that sort of thing. But yeah, can we circle back and get like a quick update on rink stuff? I totally forgot
Yes.
that.
Yeah. I don't even think you got to it on the minutes necessarily, Kat. So
Just
you
kind of
want
on
us-
the, yeah, it's on the goals.
Just at
It's
the
the
bottom.
very last thing.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome, cool, yes, please.
So currently, Alex, myself, Miranda, you came,
Yeah,
you came.
I'm trying to get involved.
So, and then we've had two members from rink or supposed to be, two members from rink and two members from tennis.
We did have some unauthorized.
We had some party crashers, come to the mediation.
Who had never been to any of the prior sessions, just started yelling.
And the rink board, the whole rink board came,
Yeah.
all four of them. So,
And I expressed my feelings on that.
oh,
I'm doing it again for the record.
so Parks budget paid for a mediator to come. The meeting itself wasn't great, but I felt like it ended on a good note where everybody seemed like they were on the same page. And so I was hopeful that we would be able to get away with having one more mediation session and then that we would be able to let go of the mediator, and just function as a committee that's just trying to write a grant for the betterment of the facility as a whole. After that, I was blown away to get an email by someone who felt like, rink wasn't being represented fairly. They felt like we were biased towards tennis. That they didn't have enough representation, so they actually asked me for Jesse Seaver's contact because they wanted Jesse to be more involved with the rink stuff.
Yes, they were specifically mad I didn't play hockey. They want
Right.
someone from PROSAB who plays hockey and tennis.
Her point,
I can fill that spot because my kid is at the rink like every night there's an option.
it's, hold up.
I'm sorry.
Because there's, we're gonna do this different. I'm over it.
I was gonna say, I don't think we should actually do that.
No, no. So what, to Alex's point, her husband plays hockey. And
They
she,
said that in the meeting.
and so anyway, so what this person did though, by sending me that email and by forcing me to answer many a text message, and then since has sent the group more emails
That aren't productive,
that are not productive.
reverting back to prior behavior patterns.
Absolutely. It's like everything that happened in mediation just went out the window and we have to start all over again. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Good.
I'm over it. We are at the point now where I've heard everything that tennis wants. You've heard it. We've heard everything that rink wants. We've heard all of the ideas from the community, from this whole committee. At this point in time, I am pulling away from the committee. We're not going to use the committee anymore. I'd like to just stick with PROSAB. We're going to write the concept paper with just staff and PROSAB. I'm pulling back from rink and tennis. Now, what this could potentially mean is that rink has $60,000 that could be used as a match.
Hmm.
One of the questions that was presented to me, if I did pull away from the mediator and pull away from the whole committee thing, is would I be prepared to lose that $60,000 match? My comment to that was tennis raised $100,000 in a week.
And they're not willing, they're not.
I don't
Right.
know that they would pull their 60,000. I don't know that that would happen. I'm not saying that it would, but what I'm saying is that I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to say, okay, my hands are, I'm done. I can't handle the fighting. I cannot do it anymore. It's not productive. We're not getting anywhere. So what I'd like to see is this rink tennis group of us to pull away from that committee. I've already told the mediator, Miranda's well aware of this as well, that we are no longer going to work with rink or tennis on creating this concept paper. We are going to create the concept paper for the facility that works for the town, that works for our town citizens, and it works for that facility.
Is the concept paper for the GOCO grant?
Yes.
You
Yes.
submit the concept paper and then you get invited to apply for the full grant. And that's where we have fallen short in the past. It's
We had a
submitted
pretty,
the concept
Yeah.
paper, but not got selected.
we submitted a pretty good concept paper,
Yep.
didn't get selected. They gave us a few points that we should come back to them with. We then went to rink and tennis, and rink and tennis gave us 10 more pages of stuff that they wanted us to add to a 3-page concept paper. So we can basically, what my feeling is that we take the concept paper that we originally had, look at some of the points that were made, pick and choose what we need for,
But the
just as a
mediation.
concept. No, I'm not gonna do the mediation.
No, I mean, but points made.
Points made at mediation and points that were made in their response to our concept paper.
Go post.
And tennis and rink and
Yeah.
all those things. So we take all the documents that we already have. This is just a concept, so it only needs to be 3 pages. We don't need to put everything into this. The grant is where we need to
Right.
put everything into.
Mhm.
So to get this concept paper done, to just take what we already have, make it the best what we can and go for it. And go for it in July. I'm really disappointed in the whole, us trying to do this whole mediation thing and to see how it was all perceived and how. And you're spending Parks has a tiny budget this year. And the budget is blown because the rink wasn't able to stay open. So I think I'm $30,000 negative so far this year, unless I do some amazing fundraising and fun events at the rink. So for them to continuously force my hand into the mediation component, it doesn't work for me anymore. I can't do it. Budget wise, I can't do it. I can't do it mentally.
Yeah.
I know Alex is stressed. Miranda tapped out. The last meeting, she was so fried that she tapped out and refused to come to these meetings anymore at all. So she handed the whole thing over to me. And I can't do it. I cannot do it. I can't work with these people that just can't get over the past and see that we're trying to do what's best for this facility, not what's best for one group or another. It has to be the best thing for the facility in order to sustain a parks department.
Yeah.
So that being said, sorry to take up so much time. That being said, I would ask respectfully PROSAB's help to draft a letter to rink and tennis stating that we no longer wish to work with the committee, that the town is going to take it from here. Thank you very much. Do you want to take a stab at it?
Yeah. I mean, you're saying it on the record right now, so they might find out before you send that.
That's fine.
Okay.
Is what it is. But I am going to send out an email letter, type letter, hopeful by the first part of May when I come
Yeah.
back.
So you want vacation?
Theoretically, yes, I hear I am.
Oh, right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
What? Go, Nikki, go. I am ready. I was on fire.
Why do we not have pina coladas at this meeting?
Yeah,
Like,
why didn't you call me?
Astonished that you're here.
I told Miranda I would be taking as much time off as I can over the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere. I had a meeting this morning. I had a meeting yesterday. So I'm not like, I'm actually gonna be going over to Leadville, so maybe I'll see you there, Luke. I'm gonna be in
We
Leadville.
already.
Oh, fine. Oh, yeah, I'll be in Leadville this next weekend and then the weekend after. I'll be in Leadville
Fun.
for a couple weekends and, yeah, but I'll be around, but yes, ma'am.
May I? So I think that you all made a heroic effort to make this work. And I think that should be acknowledged. And I'm really sorry that it went like that and didn't work out. And I think, I mean, I support this decision strongly. I do wonder, not with the other committee, but I wonder if there might be, especially since we now have a liaison that lives in that neighborhood, I wonder if it might be a good idea to sort of like establish like a semi-formal link liaison to the neighborhood, like as like a pivot. So like, I don't know if any of the people on the committees live in the neighborhood because we've, you know, I missed last
Yeah.
meeting, but I do know
I do.
people from
Yeah.
the neighborhood. Just, yeah, sorry, just one sec. Let me hang on one sec. I do think it might not be a bad idea to just have like, and whoever it is, just like make it like official, like as we sort of pivot away from like, as we pivot away from working with these, we are working officially with this one or two people in the neighborhood to sort of like move this forward type thing, to like sort of stave off some like
Yeah,
potential,
yeah.
you know?
It's someone attended from the neighborhood.
Luke lives up there and that's actually where I met Luke this past winter. Was coming and I think I definitely met his wife, but
Yeah, me too.
formally met Luke at the rink this past winter.
Yeah.
He I think would be capable of handling something like this.
But sorry, Luke, what were you wanting to say? Sorry, I just totally volunteered you to do something, but please, please, what would you, please say what you would like to say. Oh. Do we lose you, Luke?
Yeah, he's probably in that one of his distraction.
Yeah. I know
So that's where I'm at. If you want to take a stab at a letter and it doesn't need to be, you know, super.
No, it's gonna be pretty short, so we got
I don't
much
think
explanation. I guess I would like to plan, like, this whole thing kicked off about a year ago when, MTPA wrote to the Board of Trustees freaking out about you potentially resurfacing the core, or no, putting in the curb.
putting in the.
So like, do you have a contingency plan for when they start pinging the board on this?
I need support from PROSAB. I don't have any kind of maintenance plan for the rink this particular summer, other than completing the resurfacing.
Which they were mad about already in their. most
No, yeah, because the rink
Well,
doesn't
I'm just
want us
saying
to
they're
spend
already
money on it.
mad about it.
Yeah, rink doesn't want us to spend money on it, but what the rink doesn't understand is that I have to do that, whether or not those are gonna be pickleball courts or whether they're gonna be tennis and pickleball courts. It doesn't matter
Okay,
what it's gonna be under there. I have to finish the surfacing.
I'm not like criticizing that decision, just
Yeah.
saying, like, I would envision them.
Yeah, I think it's smart. It's like
Escalating.
similar to my comment was like, show that the outreach is happening because this is not working, right? Like,
Yeah.
so, but similarly,
So
like
maybe-
sort of when they do like almost inevitably go over your head, right? Like, what do we do?
Right.
So I guess then we also need to fill Luke in on what's been happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With this, so that our liaison to the BOT is well aware of
Why?
why we're in this position.
Yeah.
What's been happening and,
Cause I feel like last time we immediately backed off, and we're not gonna do that this time.
nope, I'm not listening to anybody anymore.
Okay.
Ever.
That's because she's queen of
I am.
Nederland.
For the next 2 months, I am not listening to anyone else. No, I'm just like, I cannot believe that it went south the way that it did. I can't believe it, even after paying for a mediator. And the poor mediator was like, man, I've had tougher things, but he was pretty
Well, we're not
surprised.
talking about like divorce, we're talking about like tennis. So,
Yeah.
Which is more important. Anywho,
Can I ask when, I think this is all good idea, and it seems like it's gonna save us a lot of town resources and time to continue that process, and so I support that. So we can focus on like, keep the eye on the prize, focus on the grant. When is the concept paper due?
July 20.
my notes.
Oh, wait, the timeline hadn't come in yet.
Yeah, we wrote to the GoCo rep and they said it would come out soon.
Yeah, and I think it might have already come up. We might have missed it, but it's sometime, if they followed last year's timeline, it was like July 24th or 29th. And they thought that this year's timeline would follow last year's.
great.
Okay, cause yeah, I'm on their website now, I think I just see it for the 2022-2023 cycle, so.
Yep.
I just don't see an update. And then-
Alex, but then
Yeah,
that's our-
Alex
what's-
Castillo. Yeah, they often don't release them until semi-late in the process, like the exact dates, but they're always around the same time.
So do we wanna plan maybe for at the June PROSAB meeting that we like? Do we need to do anything, like sign off on the concept paper so it can be submitted, or what, do we just?
So I guess that what we need to do at some point in time is review the concept paper that we had submitted before. Look at the documents that both tennis and rink gave to see if there's any pieces in there that need to be part of the concept paper. And then maybe we could submit it to PROSAB for their review for the June meeting.
I think that's a good idea.
Cool.
They said we're anticipating a fall deadline again, so you can aim for late July, early August for concept paper. That was in her most recent email to us, and they said they won't know until after upcoming board meeting in March. But you're saying you can't find anything online yet.
Well, I'm just like under their grant webs, it just
So I
says
think
like,
if we're aiming for late July, it'd be
Yeah.
safe. Do you have the, what we worked on last time? Do you want me to send that to you?
sure, yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for that update and decision-making.
It was not an easy decision to make because I do appreciate each one of those board members on rink and tennis individually. I think they're great and wonderful people. I actually, and of course, the rink is my happy place. I'm there as much as I can be, even when I'm not at work, I'm there. And I love that place. I really, really do. So it was not an easy decision for me to make. I did not make it willy-nilly. But the frustration level for every one of our PROSAB people and for our town staff that were involved in that process, and then for me to be paying for it was just not, it's not something I can continue. It's not feasible.
Makes sense. Okay, so in terms of any other updates on goals, I think the only thing we haven't already gone up, well, besides pump track, but we'll do that next month. But the only one is the volunteer program. Are there any updates or stuff we should know about there?
Yeah. I spoke with Kendra. I'll give my update first. I spoke with Kendra. She's the manager at the food pantry and the community garden. And so I'm a volunteer there, and I know that they have like this sign up software. And so when I spoke to her about it, it is a free software that they use. And you can create, she like spent time like walking me through it, where you can create lists. So you can create a sign up. We could do something like community pools and that, or community lead pools. And then we would have people sign up for that. And that's, we could get their like information there. And then we could create like a Google Doc of like, okay, we have our general volunteers, our volunteers that like to do this specific thing, that want to do like fire mitigation. And then in that Google Doc, we could also track like if they've signed a waiver, if they've done something, like anything that we need them to do, and any information we want to track. And that would be like a shared document. And then
Nice.
Great.
we would have like a shared login to this software. And yeah, and we can also, she was showing me there's like an app to create QR codes. So we can, put it on the town website, we can put it on Facebook, to get volunteers, but we could also like print a poster and put it at the post office or some other places around town to get volunteers. And yeah, and then what she said she has a Gmail for her work email, and she creates like listservs, and she's able to really easily manage outreach that way. And so I don't know if we could get like a general email from town created, so it's not coming from like one of us, because I'm not expecting you to.
There is a parks
Is
at
it?
NederlandCO.org.
Okay, because I
It all
have
comes to me
to
too.
like help co-own this, like set it up and like send out, the initial lists, and I'm happy to like manage this, but I don't want it to be siloed, right? Like I want it to, like, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, I want someone to be able to pick it up. So
Yeah.
I want it to be like very documented and very shared logins, and
You could also set up like a Gmail that's like Ned Parks Volunteers at Gmail or something and like share the login. Like if that for some reason doesn't work, like either. I've done that before with like volunteer
that's-
groups.
yeah.
I have a Gmail for the rink and it's just spam. I don't hardly ever even look at it. There's so much spam on it. It's terrible. It's just like junk email. So I preferably to use the Nederland and make sure that it's only,
And it should be more secure too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so-
It does go to myself and my entire staff. So
Okay.
not that my staff checks their email, but but yeah, it does. It's a kind of, it's staff, but it's kind of shared. So it's not private.
So I think you're setting up a meeting, with Nikki and Peter. And that's like somewhere we can like kind of talk kind and get like that information and kind of decide like maybe who wants to own it, co-own it. Kind of get like lock down more details, and then I'm happy to like get that set up. And we could get some things pushed out and flyers made and things like that to get people to start signing up. So when we will take us around sooner than later, we have a list of volunteers.
So
That's awesome. And I should say I won't be able to like take point on the refills this year. So if anyone's interested in that, I will volunteer at them, but I will not be able to organize them. So,
Definitely gonna be doing that as much as I can, so.
so
Nikki, are you still, so you said you're like taking time off, and we proposed the next Friday, the 26th, so you're still gonna be
I'm
out
not
for
gonna
the
be
shoot?
here.
Okay, all right, so I'll call up some other options.
Is that in my email
Yeah,
currently?
yeah.
Sorry, I'm not checking.
No,
my
you're,
email.
yeah, you're fine.
Showing up at meetings.
I'm just showing up at staff member that says, do you have to go to this meeting? So no, I've been checking my calendar, not frequently, but, I'm not currently checking my emails for the next several days. Hopefully, that's gonna stay true. Tend to be a glutton for punishment. I said that, and then I was at work for 4 hours on Saturday and 3 hours on Sunday, so it's like,
you get the vacation thing, like.
unless I'm gone, unless I go someplace, I can't help it. Can't help it.
Alrighty, well, thank you. That's super exciting.
Yeah, and then so the one other thing was that I still need to reach out to Kate. We'd have to notice it as like a special meeting for the three of us to meet, but just to pick her brain also. Or maybe since you met with the food pantry person, I could just meet with, I don't know, whatever you think, but to pick her brain about the farmer's market, just so we kind of have, check a couple of different volunteer toolboxes and.
Nice. That's great.
We could have it at Howling Wind because she works there once a week, so that was also our recommendation.
Nice.
And go to Tops.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Could we have like a booth at the farmer's market? Is that something we?
We have an inn.
We've done
We've done-
that in the past, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
we did that for all the charrettes. Well, not all of them, but a whole lot.
several, yeah,
Whole
a
lot.
bunch of them, and yeah. I think that was my first PROSAB thing. I was like
Yeah.
standing there with a big, huge map.
Yep. Those maps are-
You came up to my table.
I think, if we're gonna try and bring in the saws and slaws thing and the volunteer program, I think it's you guys are gonna wanna have a booth at the farmer's market.
Totally.
That's nice.
Good. Yeah.
Not even every time, but like once a month even, and then we could come up with something like,
So SAB does it too, and usually SAB reserves a booth, and that's how we ended up getting our booths for the charrettes too, is we ended up sharing time.
Mhm.
When SAB or whatever other board didn't
Yeah.
use it, we did.
It's a good idea. The only recommendation I would have based on like last or 2 summers ago when that was, is we do need some sort of large sign that says what we are, because otherwise the only people that came up to me that day were people I knew, which ended up being a lot of people,
So I
but
have a
like,
huge banner that says volunteer for the town,
well, that
Great.
worked.
and it's got pictures of my past volunteers on it and stuff.
Perfect.
Excellent.
All right, we are getting close to time, so we should probably move on. Thanks to everybody for all of your hard work. The only other, let's see, we have minutes approval. So, does anybody want a motion to approve the March minutes?
Motion to approve the March 2024 minutes.
Second.
All right, Casey?
Yes.
Kat, yes, CT?
Yep.
yes.
Anybody, I don't think anybody else is on because we lost Luke, unfortunately. Great, motion passed. And then the only other quickie update in other business is that I think both Casey and I are signed up to, there's part of the comprehensive plan was Miranda set out an invite to get a bunch of people together to talk about the, how did she describe it? Was it?
Natural resources.
Yeah, natural resources angle of the comprehensive plan, which I'm not quite sure how that's different than the Parks and Rec and SAB, but I signed up for it and I believe Casey did as well, so we will report
Has it
back.
been scheduled?
A new doodle went out, so I don't think we have,
Yes.
The
I don't think-
natural resources piece of it is gonna talk a lot more about water,
yeah, that wouldn't surprise, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
things like that.
So,
But yeah, you can plan to maybe have that as a discussion item next month.
totally.
That makes sense.
Do we also have anything to do with the CWPP at all?
Yes, I do.
You do, okay.
I go to a lot of their meetings.
Yeah, I know there's one this Saturday.
I'm not going.
What is the CWPP?
The Colorado Wildfire Fire Protection Plan.
Oh, right, with the people from the watershed, Boulder watershed, people, Kieran and such. Awesome.
Kat's been to their meetings as well.
Yeah, I just, I was like, I feel like I should know what that is. Yeah, they're awesome. So, does anybody have any other business? Other business? Or any?
Sir, did you have any commentary you wish to add, or?
I have a question. Is your artwork for sale?
My doodles? I know. I mean, yeah, definitely. Just highest bidder, whatever.
Did you all pick a spot for a car show, or did the car show just is not gonna happen this year?
It's not gonna happen.
That'd be cool.
I just came from the board meeting and they don't like my car show idea. They don't like my idea of a pool table in the senior
Oh.
lounge.
They're poo-pooing you all over.
Like a pool table.
Surely the town can accommodate a billiards.
Well, I just wanted to bring up that I saw that CT, your term is up in June, in 2 months, in June of 2025. So I just wanted to see if you're gonna apply or whatnot and.
Absolutely, yes.
Cool, that's what I thought. So I just wanted to.
I think so, yeah, I think the whole thing goes out,
Do I
right?
need- Do I need to go back to the board and?
I'm actually,
I think you have to like.
Yeah, if your term is, I think,
It's my intention.
yeah. Well, I mean, because then we still like, we
Two or
vote on
three
it
years
and then they
depending
vote on
on
it.
seat.
Okay.
right.
Maybe it's, I don't know how long it's been for you.
I kind of jumped in on someone else's term.
Oh, is that why it's an odd year,
Yeah,
like,
most likely.
an odd number? Or no, it's an even number, sorry,
Yeah, back then,
I can't math.
it's just Sam will stick around for that time.
Yeah,
Because Sam reapplied last year.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, because didn't Sam start when I started? No, he started
No,
before.
we started before.
No.
All right, well, I think that's it then. We have anything?
Second.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off, sorry, you're good.
Oh, we're just trying to figure out, yeah. Did
Yeah.
you have anything else you wanted to ask or say?
Well, as you know, I'm trying to do what I can to get the Reynolds Ranch cleaned up, all those trails up there and I don't, if there's anything you can do to pressure Boulder County parks, to do something about all those dead trees. You know, there's 3 nice trails up there that a lot of people use, and
Hmm.
it's just a mess.
It's like that to be addressed to the Big Springs egress group of people that were all for that. We did a walkthrough in Big Springs for the Big Springs egress, and that was a big talk with the fire department about how many downed trees, and
Yeah.
how bad that neighborhood is back there.
Yeah.
It's scary bad.
That is really terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, as we're walking, I jokingly was saying to Alex, this is like things that gives firefighters nightmares, because if there was a human back in there during a fire, they would be, there's no way to get out. So,
Yeah. Have you talked with the fire department about asking them to request that from Boulder County, maybe?
I could.
Yeah, I wonder if that might
they
be,
might have a little bit more push.
yeah, maybe.
And the CWPP meetings might also be a good place to
Definitely.
start.
I can't remember when that's Saturday.
It's this Saturday, it's at like 10.
There's this
left hand.
Saturday, there's a
It's, like,
meeting.
really far.
Where is it?
Is it left hand?
Oh, it's in left hand, but they do meetings up here quite frequently where they'll come up and talk with us about fire things up here. If you can get Casey or Kat your contact information, we can try and contact you when one of those meetings is gonna happen.
I have his contact information.
Okay, great. I do too. So,
We live 2 doors apart.
oh, good, good. Go knock on his door.
But yeah, is there, huh?
Do you have the email from this? That's like about.
No, I didn't know there was anything happening,
I'll look there.
which is weird because I feel like I get all of their emails, but yeah, is there anything in like, is there anything in particular that you were hoping to ask us to do, or just ideas around like
No,
how?
I just heard that there was, coffee and donuts.
Ah,
Not this week.
Oh, not this.
Too late for coffee.
No,
Still not.
thank you.
Okay, yeah, but I'll make sure to, wait, who am I sending his contact info to? Or just
Just
forward it?
when there's any
Yeah.
CWPP.
Yeah, I can
Make
see it's left hand fire department station.
Okay, maybe that's what, but yeah, forward that to me and I'll make sure you get it. And then if you just, ask them to put you on the list, like they'll put you on all the lists, I'm sure, so.
Okay, good.
And they're really great, the Boulder Watershed people with the CWPP. All right, anything else, my friends? My country people?
To adjourn.
Isn't that for guests to do?
Yay, good job, good job.
Yeah, thank you for your kind invitation, though, during the.
Oh, yeah, of course. I just wanted to make sure nobody was like sitting in their house freezing. That would have been awful.
Well, I did have to throw out all my few TV dinners.
Oh, jeez, yeah. I know, yeah, we had to toss. Get rid of some stuff.
Take care of the cats.
Bye, good to see you, Jim.